Hello everyone, this is Nifty of Nifty Crochet Crafts and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you how I made this beautiful multicolored crochet dress that I made using the Larks Foot Stitch, which I like to call the boho chic dress. This dress became one of my viral crochet pieces and our bestseller. And since I have received so many requests for the tutorial, so I'm excited to finally share it with you. Let's get right into the video. So the materials needed for this project is number one, your yarns, and I'll be using multiple colors, so you decide on the colors that you want to use for your project. But I will tell you to make sure that you're using at least 2 colors for the project in order to achieve the pattern. So you have to use a minimum of 2 colors. But for me, I'm using multiple colors. That is the idea of this project, to use your leftover yarns to make something beautiful. But for the yarn, I'm using a Yeye yarn. This is an acrylic yarn, Nigerian brand, and it is called Yeye yarn. So I'll be doubling this strand. The yarn is a lightweight yarn. It's a fine lightweight yarn. But for the sake of those projects, I'll be doubling the strands. Like I always double the strands for my projects. And this is the yarn I use for most of my projects. So the next is your hook. I'll be using a 5.5 mm hook. If you don't have a 5.5 mm hook, you can use something bigger or something not too smaller. Like I recommend from 5.0 upwards in order to achieve the flowy pattern, because the pattern is kind of lightweight, so it's kind of flowy. And again, you need your tape for your measurements. And if you are a beginner, you will also need your stitch marker. If you are a beginner, you also need your stitch marker in order to mark your stitches. For this project, we are making 2 panels, the front panel and the back panel. So I've made this, and when I'm done, I will decide if this is going to be my front or my back panel. But I'm just showing you so that you see what it looks like. This is for a child. I'm making this for a child, but then I'm going to show you how you can make it for an adult. But I just want something that I can easily do and just show you how I achieved it. So let's begin. So first thing, now you have to decide the length of your gown. So that is the thing. You want to decide the length. You can decide to make it a top, you can decide to make it a maxi dress, or you can decide to make it midi. It all depends on you. So you have to decide on the length of your dress. So for this project, for this one, I'm making it for a child, like I said earlier, and I'll be making it just 17 inches. Now this 17 inches, it does not include these fringes down here. It does not include these fringes down here. But the project itself, you have to decide how many inches the project itself will be, minus the fringes. As you can see, this is 17 inches without being stretched. This yarn is a very stretchy yarn. As you can see, when I stretch it, I'm getting up to 19, if not 20. But I'm working with 17 without being stretched. So, and now here are the fringes. So you can decide to weave in these fringes when you are done, or you can decide to just stretch it out and leave it like that. But now you have to decide the length of your project, with or without the fringes. For me, I'm deciding 17 inches without the fringes. So the fringes might just add more inches to it. So it all depends on you. So you decide the length of your dress, and because that is what we'll be working with. So to begin, I'll be starting with this color, and as you can see, I'll be doubling my strands to achieve a medium weight size. So first of all, you're going to make a slip knot. So now, after making my slip knot, I'm going to make a chain. I'm going to make a very long chain, and the chain will be multiples of 4. So the chains is going to be multiples of 4. This is what I mean by multiple of 4. You're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you chain again 1, 2, 3, 4. Again 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how you make your chains until it is long enough to get to that measurement. If your measurement is going to be 17 like mine, you're going to continue making this chain in multiples of 4 until you get to that 17 inches. I hope you understand what I mean. So I will keep chaining 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. So I just got to 17 inches by making my multiples of 4 until I got to 17 inches, and this is without being stretched. When I stretch it, it can give me up to 20 inches, as you can see. In the first row, we're going to count 1 2 3, and remember 3 always stands as a double crochet. So on the 4th stitch from the hook, we're going to make a double crochet. So make a double crochet into the 4th stitch from the hook. So this 3 here stands as a double crochet. Now we just made another double crochet. Now I would like if you take your stitch marker and place here into that 3rd stitch, so that you always remember this double crochet and not skip it. So this is 1 2, then we'll place another double crochet into the next stitch, making it 3. So now we have 3 double crochets. So now we have 1 2 3. We're going to chain 1. When we chain 1, we'll skip 1, and into the next stitch we're going to make a double crochet. Then into the next stitch, another double crochet. Into the next stitch, another double crochet. Now the next thing is to chain 1 and skip 1. Into the next stitch, we'll make a double crochet. Into the next stitch, another double crochet, and into the next stitch, another double crochet. Chain 1 and skip 1. Chain 1, skip 1. Into the next, make a double crochet. So this is the pattern until we get to the end of this row. 3 double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, 3 double crochets. So 1 again, go into the next stitch, make another double crochet, go into the next stitch, make another double crochet, then we chain 1, skip 1, into the next stitch, make another double crochet. So we'll keep making this until we get to the end of the row, and when we get to the end of the row, I will show you what we'll have to do next. So don't forget the pattern: 1 double crochet, into the next stitch, another double crochet, into the next stitch, another double crochet, then you chain 1, skip 1, and then you continue the pattern like that until you get to the end of the row. So as you can see, I just got to the end of my row, and I'm just going to complete it. 2 and 3. So this is the reason I said make sure that you make your chains to be in multiples of 4, so that at the end of the row it's going to balance. So you see it ended with 3 stitches of double crochet, and that was how we began. So now the second row, to begin, we are going to chain 3. 1 2 and 3. Flip your work. Now into the next stitch, remember this 3 stands as a double crochet. So into the next stitch, we're going to make a double crochet, and we can take our stitch marker. So take your stitch marker and place into that 3rd chain, so that you remember that there is a double crochet here. So 1, and then into the next stitch we'll place another double crochet. So we have 1 2 3 stitches like we did in the previous row. The next thing you will do is to chain 1 and then make 1 2 and 3. Chain 1 again, skip 1. So we are leaving this space here, this chain 1 space that we did on the previous row. we are going to leave it and move to the next stitch and make a double crochet. Into the next stitch, we make another double crochet. Into the next stitch, make a double crochet. The next thing we are going to do is chain 1 and into the next stitch, make a double crochet. So this is the pattern for this row. Keep doing this until you get to the end of the row, and when you get to the end of the row, be ready to switch colors. So every third row we are going to switch color, so you'll be switching your color in every third row. So keep doing this until we get to the end of the row, and when we get to the end of the row, I will show you what you will do next. So we just got to the end of the row, and I have 3 stitches left. So I'm going to place a double crochet here, another double crochet here, and the next thing I'm going to do is to remove this stitch marker. So when I remove this stitch marker, I'm going to place a double crochet inside here. I'm not going to finish this because I want to switch color. So I'll be switching to this color. So I'm going to cut this. And when you are cutting, make sure that, okay, this is when you decide how many inches you want your fringes to be. So let me say you want your fringes to be 3 inches. So this is when you decide. So you can cut from here, but I want it a bit longer. So I'll be cutting from here, So, and then you make sure that whenever you want to cut or switch colors, that the tail of yarn you are leaving is as long as this to achieve the same measurements. Although you can also decide to trim when you are done. You can decide to trim. So to switch color, so to switch to this color, I have 2 loops on my hook. So I'm going to yarn over and pull through this color here, and then I'll draw up this and make sure that they are the same size. So the next thing I'm going to do is to chain 1. Now the first chain 1 is to secure this new color. It doesn't count. Now I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3. Now this 3 counts as a double crochet. That's total of 4. The first chain I did was to secure the red, and then I chained extra 3, and this 3 now stands as a double crochet. Now what I'm going to do is to take my stitch marker and place inside that third chain, inside this third chain, or you can say the 4th chain. Just call it the 3rd chain so you won't be confused. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to chain 1. So after chaining 1, I'm going to yarn over, skip 1, skip this. Into the next stitch, I'm going to place a double crochet. Now I'm going to yarn over, and then what I'm going to do next, I'll go into this hole here. I'm going to place a double crochet. I'm going to place a double crochet, and then I'm going to place another double crochet into the next stitch. You can see. So I'm going to chain 1 and then skip 1, chain 1, skip 1. Into the next, I'm going to place a double crochet, and then I'll yarn over again, and into this chain 1 space, this hole here, I'm going to place a double crochet, and then I'll yarn over, and into the next stitch I'll place another double crochet. So this is the pattern for this row. So chain 1 again, skip 1, into the next stitch, place a double crochet, yarn over into this chain 1 space from the first row, insert your hook and make a double crochet. Now into this next stitch here again, make another double crochet. So we're having 1, 2, 3, chain 1, skip 1, into the next stitch, make a double crochet. Now into the chain 1 space from the first row, make a double crochet. Into the next stitch, make a double crochet, chain 1. So this is the pattern. keep repeating this until you get to the end of the row. When you get to the end of the row, I will show you what you have to do next. I'm getting to the end of the row, and this is what I have left. As you can see, I have 2 stitches left. So I have 2 stitches left, and here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to chain 1 and skip 1, then remove the stitch marker, and into the next stitch here, this last stitch, I'm going to make a double crochet. Now this was how we began, with a double crochet, chain 1, and now we ended with a chain 1 double crochet. So the trick here is that make sure that at the end of every row, what you started with is what you're ending with. So if along the line you notice that what you started with is not what you ended with, or what you're ending with, you might want to frog and find where the mistake is coming from. So just make sure that how you started is how you end. So look at how we started, and this is how we are ending. So they are alike. So the next thing we are going to do is to chain 1, 2, 3 as a double crochet. Take your stitch marker and place on that 3rd chain. So this 3 stands as a double crochet. Now you're going to flip your work and chain 1 again. Chain 1 again. Now after chaining 1, you're going to skip here. You're going to skip this chain 1 space from the previous row and go into the next double crochet and place a double crochet into that stitch. Go again with another double crochet, making it 1, 2, 3. Then you chain 1. So we're going to keep doing this until we get to the end of the row. Chain 1, one double crochet, another double crochet into the next stitch, another double crochet into the next stitch, making it 3. You chain 1. So the double crochets are being separated by chain 1. So you keep making this until we get to the end of the row. Chain 1. And when we are about to end the row, I'm going to show you how I'm going to end it. I'm getting to the end of my row, and I have these left. 1, 2, and 3. So the next thing I'm going to do, according to how I began, is to chain 1, then take out this stitch marker and place a double crochet into that chain where I removed the stitch marker. So this is what I have. So at this point your work should look like this, and we're going to switch to another color. So even if you want to work with just 2 colors, you can decide to bring back this color. But like I said earlier, I'll be working with multiple colors, and the next color I'll be using is this color. So okay, I'm not supposed to finish this off, so I'm going to go back. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then remember the measurement we are using. Going to cut this, then I'll introduce this color. I'll yarn over and pull it. Sure. Now I'm going to chain 1 to secure this color, and then chain 1, 2, 3. This 3 stands as a double crochet. I'm going to flip my work. The way we're going to start this row is not the same way we've been doing for the previous rows, especially for this row 3 and row 4. This row 3 and row 4. So we're going to just watch closely to see how I begin this row. So after chaining this 3, as you can see now, there's a chain 1 space here. there's a chain one space here, so we cannot just skip this chain one space and move here. So what we are going to do now is to yarn over and place a double crochet into this chain one space from the third row, into this chain one space from the third row. So we're going to place a double crochet in there, and then into the next stitch place a double crochet. Please don't forget to take your stitch marker and place into, so that you won't forget that there is a stitch here. So the next thing is to chain one and skip one, then into the next stitch place a double crochet into the chain one space here, place a double crochet. So we're just going to repeat what we did in row 3, which is this row, the third row. So we're going to repeat what we did in row 3 until we get to the end of the row. The only difference is how we started and how we are going to end. That is the only difference between row 3 and row 5. So I'll keep doing this until I get to the end of the row, and when I get to the end of the row I will show you how to end it. So I'm getting to the end of my row. So I'm going to skip one and into the next place a double crochet, yarn over into this space here, going to place another double crochet, then take out the stitch marker and place a double crochet into that third chain where I removed the stitch marker from. So as you can see, this was how we began and this is how we ended. Everything is going to be uniformed. The way you started is how you're going to end. If not, you will notice a decrease from one part and an increase on the other part. So you have to take note of this. Now I'm going to show you how to make the 6th row. I chained 1 2 3. I'll flip my work into the next stitch. I'm going to place a double crochet. Remember, this 3 stands as a double crochet, and I'm going to take my stitch marker and place into that third stitch, into that third chain. I'll chain 1 and repeat. You already know how to make this already. Then chain 1 and continue. So we'll keep making this until we get to the end of the row, and make sure that when you get to the end of the row you are ending with chain 1 3 double crochet into 3 different stitches like we began here. Chain 1 1 2 3 stitches. So you keep repeating this until we get to the end of the row, and I will show you what we have to do next. And remember, when we get to the end of the row we are going to change our color, because you only be using the colors after, you'll be changing the colors after every 2 rows. Like we did here, after every 2 rows we change from this to this, and after 2 rows we change from this red to this. So after this second row, now we are going to switch to another color. So we're getting to the end of the row, and I'm ending with 3 double crochets on 3 stitches. So I remove the stitch marker and place a double crochet into that stitch there. So and I'm not going to finish off because I'm going to switch colors. Now I'm going to switch to, so this is the next color. I'm switching to white, so I'm going to bring it in, then chain one to secure it, chain one to secure it, then chain 1 2 3. Now this chain 3 stands as a double crochet. Then I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to flip my work. When I flip my work, now I'm going to chain 1 again. The reason I'm going to chain 1 is because I'm about to repeat row 3. So now this project is a repetition of row 3, row 4, row 5, and row 6. So row 3, row 4, row 5, and row 6. So it's a repetition of the third and fourth row, the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth rows. So this project is just a repetition of these rows, and if you follow it accordingly, you won't have any problem with your work decreasing without you knowing, or your work increasing without your knowledge. So I'm going to repeat what I did in my row 3, which is I chained 4, I chained 3 as a double crochet, chain 1 again as the chain 1 because of the space I'm about to skip, and into the next stitch here I'm going to place a double crochet. So after placing this double crochet, I'll go into this this chain space from the fourth row, yeah, this chain space from the fourth row, and insert a double crochet just like we've been doing before. So what I just want you to take note is the beginning, how we begin and how we end. Now notice the reason I said this project is a repetition of the fourth, the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth row is that you will notice that the third row is different from the fifth row. This third row is looking like the seventh row. This is what I mean. So this is where I began. As you can see how this is. Now the next row is like this. We have this double crochet here standing on its own. Now here it's a complete set. Here we have a double crochet standing on its own. Here it's a complete set. Here we have a double crochet standing on its own. Here is a complete set. So it's just like that. So that's why I said the row is a repetition of the third, fourth row. After making the third and fourth row, you repeat the fifth and sixth row. So we just made the third and the fourth row, and now we made the fifth and the sixth row. Now we are repeating the third and the fourth row, which is this. So that is the reason it's looking like this. The reason I'm taking my time to explain this is so that you won't have to struggle with your work decreasing without you knowing. If you fail this, your work will decrease. So you continue chain 1 and then you skip. So you continue with what we've been doing since until you get to the end of the row. And when you get to the end of the row, I will show you how you end the row. So we're just getting to the end of the row, and remember how we began, and that is exactly how we are going to end. So I'm going to chain 1, then take out this stitch marker and then place a double crochet in. So 1 2 3, flip my work, 3 stands as a double crochet. I'm going to chain 1 again, that is 4. I'm going to skip this, of course, then go into the next stitch, make a double crochet into the next, double crochet, and into here again, double crochet. Now I'm going to chain one, skip, and then I'll continue doing this until I get to the end of the row. Please don't forget to always place your stitch marker here, especially if you are a beginner, so that you will always remember where to place your last and first stitch. So I just got to the end of the row, and as usual I'm going to change color. So when I chain one, I'll skip one, then into that stitch I'm supposed to place a stitch marker here, but I forgot. So don't forget to place yours so that you know where exactly to place your last stitch. So I'm not going to finish off because I want to switch to another color. And so I'll be switching to this color. Chain one to secure it, and then chain 1, 2, 3, and this 3 stands as a double crochet. Now flip my work. After flipping my work, I'll take my stitch marker and place into that last stitch there, and into that last chain. That's the third chain. Now into this space, because we are about to repeat row 5, we are repeating row 5 now. We've done a repeat of row 3 and 4. Now we're about to repeat row 5 and 6. So what I'm going to do is to insert my yarn, my hook here, and make a double crochet, and then into here I'm going to make another double crochet, chain one, then continue, skip one, then continue until I get to the end of the row. And when you get to the end of the row, I will show you what you have to do next. When you get to the end of the row, I'll show you what you have to do next. So I'm just getting to the end of this row, and I'm going to make sure that I will end how I began. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to end just exactly how I began. So I'll make my last double crochet, and as you can see, this is how I ended, with 1, 2, 3 stitches and 1, 2, 3 stitches, exactly how I ended. So I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3 and continue working 1, 2, and then 3 double crochet to 1, 2, 3, chain 1 and continue until you get to the end of the row. And when you get to the end of the row, you're going to switch to another color of your choice, and this is the pattern until you get to your measurements. Now the measurements for this project is, the measurements you will use for this project is the widest part of your body. So if the widest part of your body is your bust, you're going to use your bust measurement. If the widest part of your body is your hips, you're going to use your hips measurement. So you're going to use your hips measurement or your bust measurement depending on the widest part of your body, divided by 2. So for the child I'm making this for, the widest part of her body is her hips, which is 23 inches. Now this 23 inches, I'm going to add 3 inches. Like you can see, the gown is a free gown, it's not bodycon. So I'm going to add 3 more inches so that it will be free on you when you wear it. So 1, 2, 3, that is 26. This is a total of 26. So you're now going to divide 26 into 2. First of all, you get the widest part of your body. The person I'm making this for, the child I'm making this for, the widest part of her body is her hips, which is 23 inches. Now I added 3 more inches to 23, giving me 26. The reason I added 3 more inches is because the dress is meant to be free on the body. So since it's 26 inches, I'm going to divide 26 into 2, and then I'll be getting 13 inches. And when I measure this, you can see this is 13 inches without being stretched. I'm not stretching this. You're just going to keep doing this until you get to that your measurement. So for me, it is 13, and I've done this panel. This is my first panel. It's going to be front or back, I don't know for now until I'm done with this. And this is the second panel. So I'm going to keep making this until I have this measurement. So these two panels are going to look alike, and you don't have to follow the colors the way it is. For me, as you can see, I'm not following it, because when I will join, I will have to join these two together. But assuming I started with the same color I started here, it will be conflicting. So I just completed the two panels. So here we have the front panel and the back panel, and as you can see, they are of the same size and length. Okay, they are of the same size and length. So the next thing we are going to do after making your two panels is that you're going to now attach it. So I'm going to show you how to attach this together, and to attach, you'll be using our darning needle. So you're going to use your yarn needle to attach. So thread your yarn into the yarn needle, and then we can attach. The reason I'm using the darning needle to attach is because if you use single crochet, as you can see, they are of different colors. So if you are not careful, you won't have neat stitching. So that is the reason we are using our darning needle, in order to have neat stitching. Now what we are going to do now is to mark out, before we join the shoulders together, before we join the shoulders, we're going to mark out the neckline. And because this dress is actually, you can wear it as an off shoulder, it's kind of a big dress, we're going to make use of our shoulder to shoulder measurement. So the shoulder to shoulder measurement of this dress that I am making for this baby is 9 inches. The shoulder to shoulder measurement for this dress is 9 inches, but this 9 inches, I'm going to stretch it out, so it's not going to just be 9 inches without being stretched. So see what I'm going to do now. So I have my stitch markers here, and I'm to measure out 9 inches from the middle. So let me count out 4 from here. 1 2 3 4. Then I'll take my stitch marker, place here, then I'll count 4 again from here. 1 2 3 4. Use my stitch marker. Now the next thing I'm going to do is now measure what I have in the middle. So when I measure what I have in the middle, I'm having 7 inches, but when I stretch it out, you can see I have 9. You can see I have 9 inches. So it's 7 inches, but when I stretch, I have 9, and the shoulder to shoulder measurement of what I want is 9 inches. So I hope you understand. So this is how to measure out the neckline, the neckline, and then bring out the shoulder parts. So this is the same thing I'm going to do for this panel too. I'm going to do the same thing for this panel too before joining, but since I've already marked it out here, what I'm just going to do is to count. Like I marked out 1 2 3 4 here, so here I'm going to mark out 1 2 3 4 too. So I'll just take this stitch marker, 1 2 3 4, so place it here for 1 2 3 4. So this is it. I'm going to do the same for here. 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. So this is it. So this is it. Now what I'm going to do next is just to take this needle, my darning needle, and stitch from here to here. After stitching from here to here, I'm also going to stitch from here to here. So from any of the colors here, you can decide on the color you're going to use to stitch. So I'm going to be using this ash color to stitch from here to here, And to stitch it, just take a little, just take one loop, just stitch with just one loop. Please watch closely and see how I stitch. Stitching row by row. What I mean row by row is see row by row, column by column. Make sure you are stitching column by column. So don't, like for example now, this white and this, they are together, then the red and the purple, they are together, then this ash and this yellow are together, the white and the red are together. So make sure you stitch them like that accordingly. See, I keep stitching until you get to where the stitch marker is, and that will be it. So once you get to where the stitch marker is, you fasten off and then you weave in a little bit. I can cut. So now you can go ahead and weave in these ones. You can go ahead and weave in this end and weave in this end too. So now that we've stitched this part together, we're going to also do the same here and stitch from here to here together. And look at, after stitching, this is what we have, and see how it is. So you can go ahead and stitch this part too, as we have stitched this part. So after joining, I went ahead and did the sleeves for this side. So I'm going to show you how to make the sleeves with this side. You can see I've done the sleeves for this side, but I'm yet to do for this one. And one thing I also want you to take note of is that for the sleeves I used just 2 colors extra. So that means I just switched colors twice. I just switched colors twice to achieve this, and I'm going to show you how to do the sleeves. Now I want you to note something. I'm making this for a child, like I've been saying, so that is the reason the sleeves is short. So if you are making for an adult, you should consider switching colors up to 4 times, except if you will now want it longer. To make the sleeves, first of all, you use your round sleeve measurement. So the round sleeve measurement for this child is 8 inches. So it's just 8 inches, but because the dress is a free dress, it's not going to be tight on her. I added 2 more inches to make the sleeves free, so making it 10. So when I divide 10, I'm going to get 5 inches. So now I'm going to measure out 5 inches from here. So as you can see, this is where my 5 inches is. This is where my 5 inches is, and I'm also going to measure here again, the back side, to be sure. This is where the 5 inches is. So this is it. So the sleeves is going to be from here to here. So what I'm going to do is to take my stitch marker and mark that stitch. So I'm marking here because I want to begin from here. So I'm beginning with this color. I'm starting with this color. So now to begin, I'm going to start here. So I'm going to insert my hook here. And then I'm going to chain 1 to secure, 1 2 3, stands as a double crochet, then chain 1. Then I'm going to skip 1 and then go into this stitch here and make a double crochet. Now into this space here, I'm going to make a double crochet, just the same thing that we've been doing since. Okay, then in here again, I'm going to make a double crochet, then chain 1, skip one, double crochet here, just continue like we've been doing since. Just continue the pattern like we've been doing. When we get here, I'm going to show you what to do. So as you can see, I just got close to the shoulders, and as usual I'm going to chain one and skip this one, and into this stitch I'm going to make a double crochet. Now into this chain space from the previous rows I'm going to make a double crochet. Now so when I get here, now instead of going ahead to walk into this stitch, I'm just going to skip it and move into this other color. That's the from the other row, from the other side, and then make a double crochet here. This is just to balance this side. Okay, so now I'm going to chain one and then skip one, then move here and make a double crochet. Then from this side, as you can see, this was the side where we began. This was the first row. This is the first row we began with. So I'm just going to go into here, into this space here, and make that double crochet, chain one, and then going to skip one, just like this. So I'm going to keep going this way until I get to where my stitch marker is, and when I get to where my stitch marker is, I'll show you what you have to do next. The way we started is not how we are going to end. How we started is not how we are going to end, because we have to slip stitch to join them together. As you can see, this was how we started. So this is how we began, but this is not how we are going to end. So that is the only difference between making the body of the dress and making the sleeves. I hope you understand. So this is how we began. This was how we began. We began by the space here. Okay, but now we are going to end with making a complete set. So what we are going to do after making this, look at where the stitch marker is. So we're going to chain one. After chaining one, I'll skip one, then into here I'm going to make a double crochet. So after making this double crochet, I'm going to go in here again and make a double crochet, and then I'm going to go into this next stitch here, this first stitch here, and make a double crochet, and this is going to balance the stitch that we try to decrease from here. So you see, you can see now they are all equal. So now the next thing I'm going to do now is to find that third chain, 1 2 3. So I'm going to go ahead and make a slip stitch. So after making the slip stitch, so when you make the slip stitch, you chain 1 2. So chain 2, and this 2 does not count as a double crochet. So after chaining 2, you come into this space here and make a double crochet, then make a double crochet and a double crochet. The 2 does not count as a double crochet. We're just using it to balance. So this is 1 2 3. 3 stitches are here. To avoid confusion, please take your stitch marker and place here. Okay, now we'll chain 1 and then we'll continue making this pattern until we get to the end of the row, and then we're going to switch to another color. So I'm almost at the end, and 2 3. So I'm going to chain 1 and then remember this stitch here and place a double crochet here. Then we're going to make a slip stitch. We're going to make a slip stitch and switch to another color. So I'm sorry, we'll not finish off the slip stitch. So I'm going to take in the color, the new color, and then I'm going to chain 1 to secure them together, and I'm going to chain 1 2 3. Okay, after chaining 3, I'm going to flip my work. And then into here, I'm going to make a double crochet. Make a double crochet and then another double crochet in here, chain one, I just got to the end, almost at the end. So after making this, I'm going to chain one, skip one, and in here I'm going to make a double crochet. Then I'm going to make a slip stitch to connect the row. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to chain 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then I'm going to flip my work and then skip here, and then I'm going to make a double crochet here. 1, 2, and 3. And then continue working like that until you get to the end of the row. So I'm almost at the end of the row and just chained one. I'm going to chain one, skip one, and then end the row with 3 double crochets in 3 stitches. So after this I'm going to make a slip stitch, and that is it for me. Chain one and then cut. If you're making this for an adult or you want your sleeves to be longer, all you have to do is just to keep going until you get to the desired length of your sleeves. For me, I am stopping here. So the next thing I'm going to do is just to stitch from here to here. So just stitch from here to here and stitch from here to here, and that is the end. Then you weave in. For this side, for this part, the only thing that you have to do here is to make a knot to secure these fringes together. Just make a knot to secure the fringes together, one after the other. See? So just do this until you go around, because they can actually loosen from here. Your work can actually loosen from here, so take your time and then when you are done you can just brush it out, and that is the end. Then you trim it if you want, brush it out and trim it to be equal, and that is the end for this project. So that is just it. Thank you friends for watching this tutorial, and I hope you learned something new. Please like, comment, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more crochet tutorials. If you recreate this boho chic dress, do not forget to tag me. I would love to see your beautiful creation. See you in my next video. Bye.